Brought to you by Smart, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Sabrina Daly.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
It's quite a gloomy Thursday morning, is it?
It is, and it's a part of the challenge you have to rise above the weather, rise your attitude, rise your energy above the weather, and of course you have to, because it's not only a gloomy morning, but it's Friday Junior.
It is.
And because it's Friday Junior, I mean, you have to go with that positive energy into the end of the week. And so the weather now whole way down, but we have to talk about it a bit, right?
Absolutely, and we will get to that, but you're right, it is a bit of a gloomy Thursday morning. We did expect some changes in the weather systems out there. Of course, we provide our daily weather update from the folks at the Met Service, but there were some systems that we were monitoring in certain parts of the Caribbean, and I think what we are experiencing now might be just some of those predictions that were made. Of course, we will get to that a bit more in our What's Buzzing segment. But you are right, Paul. We need to keep the positive energy flowing. It is Friday Junior, and it's also a shorter week.
Yeah.
So you would know that we have a little bit more like pep in our step, because we're not too dragged out from working from Monday to Thursday. Of course, you would know we started our week on Tuesday this week. So we still have some energy to take us to the end of the week. Yeah. But as we mentioned, we do have some topics for What's Buzzing this morning. So let's get straight into it. All right, so first up, as we mentioned, we are experiencing some changes in our weather. One of the things that we would have provided to our viewers in the news about 2 days ago was an official press release from the National Meteorological Service and the National Emergency Management Organization, speaking of preparations for changes in the weather. I know we've been covering extensively the damages caused by two very massive hurricanes hitting Florida. And of course, as we mentioned, there were other systems still developing in the Atlantic Basin. There was also something we were monitoring around us in Central America from our neighbors. So it seems like that might be a bit of what we are currently experiencing. Yes, Paul?
Yeah, so what we're starting to see, according to the National Met Service, is a change in the weather as a result of a system or a group of storms, thunderstorms in the Southwest Caribbean Sea, right? So from Tuesday, the National Met Service and NEMO jumped on this to say that they're monitoring closely monitoring the Southwest Caribbean Sea, where models suggest a potential for a tropical cyclone development later this week. So this was a release on Tuesday, right?
Yes.
And at that time, the current chances of formation remained low, with nearly zero probability over the next 48 hours. That would be into today, and 30% within the next 7 days. I think the National Hurricane Center has dropped that probability now to 20%. What we're looking at there on the screen is the latest model and images coming out of the National Hurricane Center from this morning. But all indications are that whether or not the system develops, I've been watching, and some models may want to spin up something small. Whether or not we have any development, this will be a huge rainmaker.
Yes, absolutely.
And we are starting to see the effects of that on this Thursday morning. And according to the forecast that we've been following for the last few days, right here on the morning show, you'll see that the chances of rain continues to increase today, tomorrow, into the end of the weekend. So that's something we're looking at. But just as an advice to people, to let you know that, hey, it's going to be raining.
Yes.
It's going to be raining today. It's going to be raining tomorrow. It's going to be raining throughout the weekend. So that may affect some plans. One, some people may have to alter their plans if they're planning a dry weather event. For example, some people who live in flood-prone areas, depending on the amount of rains that we get, and we'll have to leave that to the experts to tell us exactly how much rains we're going to get. But I could just say it's going to be a lot. That's my expert advice. It's going to be a lot of rain. That's as far as my expertise go. But if you live in a flood-prone area that gets inundated when there's a lot of rain, then it's perhaps also something you need to be concerned about. All right, what are my plans if it rains excessively? You look at the skies, I think for us, bush weatherman and weatherwoman, we just have to look at the sky, and if the sky dark, well, we could say,
it's coming.
yeah, we don't need Ronald Gordon and the chief to tell us it's going to rain. It's going to rain, and it seems as if it's going to continue to rain for some time.
Absolutely. And of course, Paul, you know that we will be monitoring these updates as they come by. One of the things that I do want to mention to our viewers is that in that press release, the folks from the Met Service and the National Emergency Management Organization stressed that we should not panic. Of course, they still wanted to remind us, though, in that same breath, that we are still in the peak of the hurricane season. So these changes may come about. They may come about very quickly as well. And so what is important is that you are prepared, that you have a hurricane preparedness plan, and that you are able to jump into motion if there is a moment that you might need to put that plan into effect.
And another quick tip, definitely courtesy one of my good colleagues here, is secure your pets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
absolutely. I can hear Marion saying it.
Yeah. If it's gonna rain a lot,
Yeah.
and your pets are in areas, especially, you know, sometimes water builds up around the dog house, for example, or the yard gets flooded, you may need to think about putting your pets on a veranda.
Or on the inside.
Or maybe inside. You know, sometimes you want to bring your dog inside, but they just give so much trouble. Yeah, like they just cause ruckus inside the house, and it's not that you don't love them, it's just that you think about the mess that you'll have to clean. But whatever is necessary to secure your pets, also consider that and take that into consideration. Again, it's not something to panic about, but definitely it's a lot of rain that we're going to have to look out for, and it's something we have to prepare and plan for accordingly. And of course, if you got any drums and a vat, it's a good time to catch water as well.
Absolutely. Well, moving now into our second topic, and this one is more on a somber note. We did report yesterday of the devastating loss of a 3-year-old little boy here in Belize City who fell into a canal by accident and would have drowned. Now, there are so many parts to the story that I think makes it so devastating. One, it's the fact that he would have been submerged in that water for the better part of 3 hours, Paul. Also, some of the rescuers involved, we have to say kudos to them. One of the persons who would have rescued him was his cousin. And that must have been really, really hard to do. He said it as well in an interview that when he realized that he felt a part of his body, he even questioned if he could bring him up. But he did so anyway because it's his little cousin. Now, we were able to speak to the babysitter, the caretaker of this child, and she spoke a bit about the moments leading up to them finding out that King, as he is referred to, was missing or was nowhere in sight where they would have left him. We also spoke to representatives of the Belize Coast Guard. We want to say thank you to all the first responders who aided in this process. But ultimately, it's just a devastating story, Paul. I imagine that impacts even more a lot of parents, because this is something that you never want to imagine when you think of leaving your children in the care of a babysitter or in the care of a daycare. This is something that I think for every parent kind of like rests in the back of your mind. I hope that my child is okay. I hope that I'm able to pick up my baby and he or she is okay when I return. But unfortunately, this I'd say dark thought came to reality.
Yeah, so a few things we were able to establish yesterday that we were not able to establish on by yesterday evening, that we're not able to establish yet yesterday morning when the discussion was had on the morning show. One is the fact that this babysitter had basically been watching this child or overseeing this child, been a guardian to this child from he was 5 months old. So this is no new space to this babysitter. This isn't a new child to this babysitter. So she would have understood how he functions, his interests, some of his behaviors, perhaps even some of his disobedient actions, if you would, right? So she would be very familiar with him from 5 months old to 6, almost like a parent, if you would, right? So she's familiar with him in that sense. So I understand I understand that this babysitter had a bond with this child, right? And it's not just based on the accounts, and it's not just, oh, this that somebody where we throw the picnic pan and then they don't care for the child. I don't get that based on the amount of time that this guardian or this babysitter has spent with this child, right? So where the care part is concerned, I do think the babysitter cared for the child. We also established that the suspicion is that this child tried to walk over one of the beams across the canal. As you see, the way these canals are structured or the way they're constructed, they have beams over them.
Yes.
I've always wondered what they're for. Perhaps it's to prevent large vehicles from going in, and it's also maybe to stop debris from flowing. So that right there, the suspicion is that the child was walking over. So it kind of creates for you a better understanding of how the child may have fallen into the canal. It's not as earlier suspected that the child was playing along the canal and then boom, slip into the canal. As the babysitter indicated, there are horses that comes around or are brought around, and the child, as a child, any child would be interested and curious in horses. I mean, up to now as an adult. And so the suspicion is that the child walked over, was trying to. The babysitter said that she has caught at least 1 or 2 of the children trying to do the same thing, and she's had to stop them. So that kind of gives an understanding of how the child may have fell into the canal. So two established in facts, right? The third is that, and this one is a bit tricky, but it speaks to perhaps the hesitation to jump into the water. The Coast Guard officer said that there are crocodiles, at least 1 crocodile in the water. Knowing the area for myself, I can tell you there's a crocodile in that water. I've seen the crocodile. I've seen people gather around that area to watch the crocodile. There is a crocodile in the water. That creates certain fears for certain people, for a lot of people in fact, because it's a kind of a unknown factor. What will happen if I jump in the water? While some instinctually would think, you know what, I just want to jump in to save this kid. So that's a part of perhaps explains to an extent why some people would justify in their minds not jumping in immediately, or at least after finding out whether it's an hour or 2 hours that the child slipped and fell into the canal, because there are clearly unknown factors that you'll have to face. But by and large, we have to say kudos to those individuals who decided against all safety instincts and all personal preservation instincts to jump in and search for the body and actually recover it. And I know certainly this is a hard time for the family, and so we here at Open Horizon, of course, Channel 5, offer our condolences. It's never an easy thing to talk about when a young life is cut short and in such a manner. And finally, for me, I know there are discussions about ways in which these canals can be constructed so as to consider the safety of children. Perhaps that's a discussion that can be had in the long term, but in the short term, the goal is perhaps better directed towards ensuring that our children are supervised at all times. And if it's too much children for the babysitter or for any guardian to handle, then the guardian or babysitter has to, I'm not pointing at any single one, but has to be real about that and say, hey, I already have too much kids. You might have to find another babysitter.
And that's what I also pointed to yesterday as well, because I know that I imagine that there is also a challenge in finding a babysitter that you trust. You tend to go to persons that you would already know.
Like granny.
Or your grandma, so that brings about a whole other conversation. But again, as we mentioned, our deepest condolences is extended to the family of this little boy.
Yeah.
Moving now into our final topic, and we want to end on a lighter note, Paul, because it is Friday Junior. I saw a fantastic feature that you did last night. Of course, the night before, you would have visited the Sbarro. Sbarro. Oh, gosh.
No, listen. It's not as
it's not as easy to say as you think.
I am looking forward to hearing all the variation of pronunciations from Belizeans.
And I said it right last night.
Yeah.
You naturally want to say Sbarro.
Because S and B don't necessarily come behind or before each other as this one does.
Yeah, so you visited the new franchise opening here in Belize City on the Philip Gosen Highway, Sbarro. It's right beside the transparent BPO building that has hundreds of staff members there. It's also, I think, in the same building where the new, I'd say, location of Publix is as well.
Mini-Mart.
Publix Mini-Mart. But this is exciting, Paul, because Sbarro is one of the franchises of pizza in New York.
Yeah.
So if you've ever had their pizza in New York, they are officially now here in Belize. Paul, I gotta know, first off, how was it? Out of 10.
Asking me that question.
10 being the best.
Out of 10, I'm just saying, because no hesitation. Out of 10, I think it's an excellent pizza.
Yeah.
This is just my personal view. Having tried it, I tried their pepperoni cheese pizza. I tried their meat lovers. I tried their Hawaiian pizza. I tried what's this stromboli? I think that's what you call it. Beats me. I tried it. I tried.
You tried them all.
Yeah. So because they really had us try a lot, and so I'll give it an easy 10 out of 10.
All right.
I'll give it an easy 10 out of 10 because it's flavorful. The dough is really soft. They don't hold back on the flavor, and that's really what makes the pizza, the softness of the crust, and ensuring that you have all the right ingredients on top and that you don't cheat the customer, right? And I don't see any cheating here with their pizzas, and it's really good. But it raises another question, Sabrina. How well will this franchise do in Belize?
Will it survive?
Will it survive, considering the track records of franchises in our beloved country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, fair question. If we can search around in the pockets of the country, do we have any other franchise, any other international franchise that is currently in Belize other than Sbarro at this point? No, right? But it caused us to have a bit of a water cooler conversation yesterday because we were talking about franchises that have attempted to come here to Belize to see what the scene is like. And one of the businesses that came up was, of course, Subway, that I think is the most recent one before Sbarro.
We had Subway. I'm told in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken, early 2000s. Actually, I have an image. I sent an image of just a Subway sign.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find images of the Subway, and I think because at the time technology wasn't as advanced.
Yeah.
So I found an image of a guy standing in front of the Subway sign, and this image, once we get it up, I'll tell you a bit about it. That this was taken after Subway left Belize. So there's basically, you pick up on your left, but it's much cheaper to just leave everything.
Oh, wow.
So everything was left behind, including the sign. And it wasn't until later on that Subway, the sign was taken down. And then I also sent in a picture of KFC.
Yes.
We had a KFC in Belize, I believe in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. I have the actual date on my phone, but it's decades ago. We had a KFC on Albert Street, right in front of Mule Park.
Yes.
You know where Augusta Kwan is or used to be?
The mayor mentioned it.
Yeah, so the mayor mentioned it.
Yeah.
And what I found interesting is that KFC's biggest rival was a local fried chicken spot.
Which would still be, if they come here.
And Subway's biggest rival was Brody's Subs.
And it would still be if they come back.
And one person informed me that it was so hard for KFC to establish a foothold in the market that after a year, they began selling rice and beans.
You're kidding.
I am telling you.
Oh my God.
And for those older folks, I don't call nobody old, but for those persons who may be older and remember these times, you could verify this information. But somebody actually wrote an article on a National History and Heritage page I follow, and they said that after a year's time, KFC started selling rice and beans. But they pointed to one of the issues that is still being raised today.
Yes.
And that's the high cost of importation.
Yes.
Of the importation of goods in Belize. In fact, it's something that the Sbarro CEO informed us yesterday. Sbarro CEO told us that that they have to import most of their goods. Now the mayor is suggesting that perhaps the best thing to do is to incentivize these importers so that these chains can survive. And I think that's a great idea. They need to be incentivized. Some of these importation costs are so high that there's no way they would survive. And a lot of people, you got a lychee, you got a kick down fence, that's our KFC.
Yeah.
And you purchase $7 chicken and you throw that down. I mean, at the end of the day, it often comes out to be way cheaper. And what happens with these franchises, they have a standard to maintain. A standard that local businesses don't necessarily care about that much, or per se don't have to meet, right? So if we fry a piece of chicken in our old oil and throw it in our greasy bag, we are buying
the best, the best fried chicken we would have,
And it would cost us way less. So that's a KFC flyer. That's actually a flyer, and you'll see the corner of Albert Street and and Orange Street on it, and it gives a description. So that's actually a
That's the
Belizean-
subway photo
so
you
that's
were
the subway sign, and it's the only one I was able to find online.
Okay, so what we do know now again is that we have one franchise back here in Belize.
Yeah.
The mayor has absolutely embraced it. He said he can't wait for more to come. One of the ones that he mentioned was Starbucks. Could Starbucks come here in Belize?
Yeah.
Now, I had a theory, right? And we were talking about the competitors for, of course, Sparrow. People would still, well, I know Pepper's Pizza recently shut down, but people would still try to stay loyal to their Belizean businesses that make, you know, various types of food that are similar to the ones there. But I feel in my heart of hearts that Starbucks would work.
You see, it boils down finally, my final thought, because I could have this conversation for a long time, but I think it boils down to cultural adaptation as well. What we grew up with. In America, the children grew up knowing that if you want fried chicken, you got a KFC. We grew up knowing if you want fried chicken, you got a lychee.
Yes.
And you got a kick down. So these franchises, a part of their challenge would be to really establish a foothold in the culture, culinary culture of Belize, in the psyche, so that when the kids they grow up, in the future they know that if I want pizza, I got a Sparrow. If I want coffee, I got a Starbucks. For instance, got a KFC. So it's about adapting to the culture and making yourself one with the country and with the people.
My last point is, I think Starbucks would work, but they would have to have Johnny Cake and Fried Jack as the food.
Yeah, well,
no doubt.
KFC tried it with rice and beans, but I don't know. Interesting.
Well, that does it for What's Buzzing this morning. If you have any thoughts on either of the topics that were mentioned, please let us know in the comments section. And if you have any suggested topics that you think we should discuss that are buzzing, also let us know in the comments section. Moving now into our eye opener, Paul, for your daily dose of morning motivation. And we're just going to go straight into our weather instead. As we mentioned, we are monitoring several systems, so let's get that update.
Good morning, Belize. Moist and somewhat unstable conditions prevails over our area. The 24-hour forecast, skies will be mostly cloudy. Some showers, periods of rain, and isolated thunderstorms will affect mainly the coast and offshore areas this morning, before gradually spreading to most places by this afternoon. Then, shower activity will be back mostly over the coast later tonight. The maximum temperatures for today will reach 85 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 87 inland, and 76 up in the hills. The low temperatures for tonight will be around 76 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 70 inland, and 65 up in the hills. The winds will be from the north-northeast at 5 to 15 knots, and the sea conditions will be light chop. There is a small craft caution in effect for gusty winds and locally rough seas near heavy showers and thunderstorms. A high tide will occur this morning at 9:58, a low tide this evening at 3:39, another high tide tonight at 9:30, and another low tide early tomorrow morning at 4:34. The sun rose this morning at 5:46 and will set this evening at 5:29. The moon set this morning at 5:49 and will rise this evening at 5:44. The outlook for Friday and Friday night, skies will be mostly cloudy to overcast. A few showers, periods of rain, and thunderstorms will affect mainly the coast and offshore areas Friday morning, with shore activity increasing and gradually spreading to most areas by afternoon. In the tropical weather outlook, showers and thunderstorms over the western Caribbean Sea are associated with a broad area of low pressure. This system has a low chance of development during the next 48 hours. We at the National Met Service will continue to closely monitor the progression of this system. Also, showers and thunderstorms associated with a trough of low pressure located a few hundred miles east of the Leeward Islands remains disorganized. This system currently has a low chance of developing into a tropical depression during the next 48 hours. For more details on our forecast products, please visit our website at nms.gov.bz. With that, we end this morning's forecast from the Belize National Met Service.
All right, there you have it, your update from the folks at the Met Service. Moving now into our eye-opener for your daily dose of morning motivation. When we are criticized or attacked, it is important to not take it into our heart space. One of the most difficult challenges in life is learning not to take things to heart and hold on to it. Especially when we're younger, or if we're very sensitive, we take so much of what comes our way to heart. This can be overwhelming and unproductive if it throws us off balance on a regular basis. When we are feeling criticized or attacked from all directions, it becomes very difficult for us to recover ourselves so that we can continue to speak and act our truth. This is when we would do well to remember the old saying about letting certain things roll off us, like water off a duck's back. Eventually, we will be able to hear the feedback that others have to offer, taking in anything that might actually be constructive, and releasing that which has nothing to do with us. First, though, we tend ourselves compassionately by recognizing when we can't take something in from the outside without hurting ourselves. This is when we make like a duck, shaking it off and letting it roll off our backs as we continue our way in the world.
Yeah, this is quite an interesting eye-opener.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's not everything that we should be taking into our lives.
Yeah.
There are certain things that, like they say, separate the sense from the nonsense, and you take in certain things and then you cause the other things to roll off your back like a duck, right? And I think that's an important perspective that we should move into life with.
Absolutely. We'll end on that note there. And we do have a jam-packed show to jump into this Friday, Junior. Starting off in our first segment, we'll be joined by the Belize Hospice and Palliative Care, who will be talking to us about their event supporting the International Day.
And in our second conversation, we will be talking to Dr. Carol Babb about her new book. And if I am to guess, it has something to do with financial literacy.
I thought so too. And in a third segment, still on the note of financial literacy, we will be talking to the folks from a credit union, the Belize Credit Union League, and they'll be talking to us about International Credit Union Day.
And then in our final conversation, we'll get to know Miss Earth Belize, who will be representing us at the Miss Earth pageant in the Philippines.
Wonderful. Well, we got to take our first break, and when we come back, it's all about celebrating World Hospice and Palliative Care Day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added on for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix add-on for only $28.13 more. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
My name is Hermine Vega. El Patio Grill has been using Belize Bank for over 25 years. We only use Belize Bank at our restaurant. That's why we were able to win this trip to Europe. I had never been to Europe. We found out it was Madrid and we were excited and we went to this football match. The teams reached before the game and everybody was just outside, you know. You can't explain, the noise just roared like 3 blocks down the street, but when you got in there and you saw 70,000 people in there, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it was happening. I had to pinch myself to make sure it was real, you know. because it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience, I'd say. My lucky plus one was my son. He's 18 years old, so he was really excited and he enjoyed it as well. He said it's his best trip ever, so it's a priceless experience that we got. Belize Bank has always been there for me. Whatever transactions or whatever I need to do, they're always there for me. I would recommend everybody to use Belize Bank. It's the oldest bank in our country and they continue to do their best.
Remember, not all light bulbs are created equal. Our lighting department offers a wide assortment of light fixtures and accessories to suit your style. So stop in today and get the right illumination for your homecation. And don't forget your B-Box when you make a purchase. Benny's, quality and savings.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Full-Tech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Whether you're enjoying the outdoors,
Ooh, finally here at the Fort George Hotel and Spa. This is nice.
or stuck in the office.
How can I help you today?
When it comes to finding the perfect frames and lens for your eyes, what you do makes all the difference. Elevate your eye vision. Choose eyewear that reflects your lifestyle. Quartz Optical. Value you can see.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Oh, I wasn't having a bad day. I just needed...
It's here!
the biggest sale of the year. Get ready to find your happy place at Builders Hardware with our Happy Sale from October 15th to December 31st. Whether you're a professional contractor or a DIY enthusiast sprucing up your home, we got unbeatable prices that will put a big smile on your face. Now is the perfect time to give your wall a fresh look. Get 20% off paint and a whopping 25% off paint supplies. But wait, there's more. From our stylish light fixtures to fans and AC, we got everything you need to elevate your space. Now at 25% off. And for the finishing touch, check out our wide selection of tiles, where you will surely find the tile to match your style, all at 25% off. Plus, with 30 to 50% off selected items, you will find what you need at a price that will surely make your pocket smile. We also sell sand and gravel, blocks, roofing, and so much more. Yes, you can get all your materials from construction start to finish right here at Builders Hardware. Don't miss out on our happy deals. Tell your friends, tell your family. Come visit us, save big with our happy sale from October 15th to December 31st. Builders Hardware in Belmopan. This is your happy place.
We think our customers are awesome!
Welcome back. We are having our first conversation this morning, and as we mentioned, it's all about recognizing and celebrating World Hospice and Palliative Care Day. I understand that the official day is recognized on October 12th, but here in Belize, we will be celebrating it on Saturday. Yeah. So joining us this morning, we have here with us Chaplain Federico Gianelli, and he is the executive director of a nonprofit that involves the Belize Hospice and Palliative Care. Also joining us are two patient care volunteers, Elenita Phillips and Melissa Gallego. Guys, thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
So, I think that this is one of those services that a lot of people are probably not familiar with being offered here in Belize. I was just talking to Paul and telling him that I had my own experience, or my family had our own experience with hospice and palliative care. And after you get an experience and interact with persons that work in this type of field, there's just so much more respect that you have for the work and the empathy that comes from people that work in hospice and palliative care. So I have to start off by saying that. Thank you so much for the work that you guys do. Let's move into the nonprofit, the Belize Hospice and Palliative Care Organization.
So we are a nonprofit organization. We are located in the San Martin, the San Martin's Church area, on the corner of Santa Barbara and Ebony Street. It's a home-based care. What it means, unfortunately, we don't have yet a facility. And we are looking for a generous donor that give us a house, a space, a land where we can open a facility, because we do have some sisters and brothers that are ill and they don't have anybody to take care of them. But for the majority of the patients that we take care, we bring all the service to their homes. So that for medicines, but also hospital beds, what is needed, we support the patient and the family or the friends that are taking care of the person in a not cost. No, we are an organization that is supported by many friends locally and from the US and other parts of the world, like Italy. Annually, they do a gift that allows us to continue providing for our sisters and brothers in Belize. Excuse me. It's an organization that starts in 2005 with Dr. Thompson, her mother, her sister, a group of friends from the church, and it has been since then providing care to different people in different areas of Belize. It depends a lot of times of the resources that we have, the human resources, the material resources, but it has been around for 20 years.
Yes.
And these last years, there has been several partnerships. I like to say it takes a village to provide palliative care. One of the partnerships is with the Ministry of Health, with Central Region, that is providing a part-time physician 2 days a week and a full-time nurse, everyday nurse. Also is a partnership with UB, the University of Belize, that provides inter-social workers that come to do their clinical work and provide care for our patients. And we're starting also other partnerships with local business owners that, for example, are paying for a full-time nurse salary for a year.
Wow.
So yes.
This is a type of work that is provided all around the world. For persons who might not be familiar with it, as you mentioned, it's essentially caring for persons who would be at their end of their life. Yes.
Yes. So we could divide in two. We could divide hospice care and palliative care.
Yes.
Hospice care is inside of palliative care. Palliative care is a philosophy of care. It's about quality of life. Doesn't matter what stage of life you are. If you have 2 or more comorbidities, it's a complicated situation, it's a serious illness, palliative care can help to put together a plan of care and increase quality of life. Quality of life depends on what your goals are for life and depends on the resources that you have and what is possible medically to do. But also it's a holistic approach of the person. We do palliative care that doesn't address the spiritual dimension of the person is like any other medical team. So we deal a lot with what we call spiritual pain. Spiritual pain that is not addressed, decreased quality of life, and depends on more use of opioids to numb what is there.
But it's still interesting that both are embraced.
Yes, they are.
So of course you have the spiritual healing or the spiritual aspect of it, but there's still a recognition of what science and the opioids can do for a person. Who would make that decision to choose that route as well?
Matter of fact, and it's very interesting, you opened that door. Palliative care has restarted in the modern world in 1970s with Cicely Saunders in the UK. But if you go back, it was a practice for 1,000 years until 1492. Yes, it used to be called the art morendi, the art of dying. And it was this approach of the whole person. It was, as medicine advanced, as science advanced, we became very divided, specialized in certain areas. And we lost the whole person approach. Palliative care is good. No. This is a whole person. And it's important how the person feels, how the person's belief system is, what is physically going on, and what are the goals for this person. So for patients at the end of life, for a person that just learned that is not curable what she or he has, and they will progress towards to the end of life, is how to live as much as possible with good quality of life.
Yes.
Addressing all the symptoms. And when we say all the symptoms, physical, emotional, social, and spiritual.
Yeah. Let's bring Ms. Gallego and Ms. Phillips into the conversation. It's quite interesting, the service that is offered here, and it's one of the things I gathered instantly is the holistic care that is offered and the sort of team work that is required as well. And so here we have, according to my agenda, it's both of you are patient care volunteers, correct? All right, let's talk a bit about what you do and how is it that you got interested in volunteering to care in this way. Ms. Phillips?
Okay, I was asked by Dr. Habet if I would like to do it, and when she explained what was involved, I said, sure, I have no problem with that, because being retired, I have time that I can prioritize and do what I need to do. And my partner, she and I, we work together, but we do the spiritual side.
Okay.
But what would happen is we listen to what the patient has to say, and sometimes we get some information that would help us to know how to treat them and how to support them and their family.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what are these conversations like? Not that I ask if you about anybody's personal business, but like how do you initiate these conversations, and how long do they go for, and what are you looking for in these spiritual guidance conversations?
Well, when we visit the person for the first time, we listen. Because not everybody is at different, there are different levels. So somebody may just want you to sit there. They don't want to have any prayers initially. So you just have to read the patient. Wow. And the first thing we'll say, how can I help you? Yeah. What can I do for you today? And sometimes you get a response, or you just say, can I hold your hand? Just that little gesture, makes a difference in person's life.
How do you navigate what may be seen as a hopeless case where a patient is concerned, while you still try to maintain a positive outlook? Do you try to maintain a positive outlook in those cases?
Yes, and that's where the spirituality comes in.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I mean, you need to have hope. Once hope is gone, then all is lost.
Even when it seems hopeless, you don't put that on anybody.
We don't put that. And it's not denominational.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be Catholic, whatever. So we just journey with that person to where they are. And most of the time, at that point in somebody's life, they're looking for that faith, that hope.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And it's so moving. I always tend to feel a bit of emotion when I interact with persons in this type of work, because I think there's a deeper connection that you have with a person when they are either in a place of being fully reliant or dependent on someone. There's a sense of vulnerability that you bear witness to, and the same goes for an individual who might be at their end of life. There's a deeper sense of vulnerability because they have to come to terms and accept what that reality is. How is it like observing that from your perspectives?
Like watching a patient for the first time, you would see they're actively going and going, but then we try, the local term is say they're traveling.
Yes.
Yeah, but we say actively dying, and sometimes that activity can take a while,
How long is a while?
Like months.
Depends.
And it depends. For each person, it's different.
Every person is unique. The dying process is unique.
Is it something between accepting what it is that causes the traveling process to take place, or the actively dying process to take place?
Maybe we can put in the reverse. For those who have more difficult come to terms, to accept, or have no business that have been done, it takes a longer and more difficult traveling. No, it's like you haven't finished. You have things to finish. You have to reconcile with a brother. You have to reconcile with a sister. You have to say how much you love, or you are worrying about your loved ones.
Yeah. And that's what makes the spiritual intervention so important, I would imagine, because you have, as a patient, have all these thoughts running through your mind and all these concerns, and then here you have somebody like Ms. Phillips and Ms. Gallego here to guide you through those thoughts and guide you through that conversation. What does it do for you personally, though, in terms of coming to terms with the fact that one day you too will have to travel?
Well, it's not easy.
Yeah.
We were journeying with somebody for the past 6 months, and that person passed away, and it hit us really hard.
Did it?
Because the visits that you do, we do a weekly visit, and so you get to know this person, you grow to love this person, and we don't only journey with the person, we journey with their families, so it's holistic. And each stage, you see when that person is deteriorating, and it is difficult. But again, as volunteers, we also have to make sure that we fill our own cup so we can be there and be available for the person.
How do you do that for yourselves?
Well, you talk. Like when the person died, Elenita and I, we just called each other, how are you doing today? We talked about it.
We supported each other.
Yes, we do.
Wow. Yeah, that's what we did, but it really hit hard because it's Sunday. Like say the day before the person passed away, we were there, but we noticed a vast difference from previous visits. And then to find the following day, the patient passed. I couldn't believe it. It was just That's all I can say. It was just like that, you know. But all day I just felt as a man, she has gone. But you know, sometimes, as I like to say, we pray for healing, but the healing comes in different forms.
Indeed.
Sometimes the healing is by the Lord taking them to the other side, and then we, the family, or we, the friends, say, okay, they're out of their pain and everything. It's hard to let them go, but that is their healing in the eyes of the Lord.
And perhaps sometimes it could be an instance of emotional healing where it has healed certain fractured emotions that needed to be healed before that time comes for you to leave the earth, would you say?
Yeah, a few things. One is connected to hope. Is we talk in palliative care about realistic hope. You know, and what that realistic hope looks for you in that moment and that journey. And that is something that we facilitate to come out to do and says, okay, life is going in a way different than what you wish, but how you would like to use this time that you have. That would be one. The other aspect is palliative care is a science. So the approach of palliative care, the techniques that we use in palliative care is based research. You know, like for example, when you ask somebody says, "I'm afraid of dying," you know, and normally we say, "Oh, you don't have to talk about it. No, don't worry, you are not
Don't
there.
worry about it. That time is not here yet."
Yeah, that, normally what we are doing is shutting that person and not letting that person talk. But if you keep the door open and says, "Well, what you are exactly afraid of?" Research shows 3 fears: physical suffering, leaving the loved ones, and what is next. If you are able to enter those doors and go deeper, the spiritual pain, the fears, a lot of times spiritual pain comes in the shape of fears. The person becomes in control of those fears. Another aspect, when we talk about spirituality, we understand spirituality and religion as 2 different things. You know, and spirituality has to do with relationships, has to do with connections with nature, has to do with style of life, has to do with what brings purpose, meaning, sense of reconciliation, sense of belonging. And religion is a practice that connects you with a faith tradition and with an understanding of God. For example, something that we don't do is during the period of accompanying a person, we don't push religion. Even me as a religious man, as a Jesuit, normally I don't dress like this. I dress like this for teaching and with my white coat, but it's more to accompany. Elenita and Melissa are what the Greeks used to call a soul friend. Wow. Anankara in the Arts Morendi. The soul friends, yes, is a deep bonding that builds trust. And it's a privilege, it's a treasure, because the patient most of the time are trying to protect their loved ones. So they will not say many things that they will say to us. They will say to Elenita and to Melissa because they don't want to worry their loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in honor of the day, I understand we're having a candlelight walk. Yes. Let's talk a bit about what the activities we're planning to honor this day as we start to wind down this conversation.
Every year we have a theme. The theme for this year for Palliative Care World Day is, has passed 10 years since palliative care became a human right. It's part of the human rights. Every person that is sick, that is very sick, that is at the end of life, should receive palliative care. Well, I like to see what has been done and know what is missing. In Belize, for 20 years, you have that service. And it's going well and it's growing. So we're gonna get together at the Civic Center at 5 p.m. on Saturday, and we will walk with candles around the city, and we will finish in a park that is close to the bus station.
Constitution Park?
Yes. Thank you. Being an outsider. And we will also remember those that we accompany. You know, I can say at the top of my head, because I've been preparing some grants, that we almost 2,000 visits, home visits this past year.
A year?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
This
How
year.
big is your team?
Well, the team, we have a doctor, a nurse, a social worker, as a chaplain, and about 25 volunteers.
Wow.
Yes, yes, that would be a social team. Something that's very important is we are all volunteers.
Yeah.
I'm the executive director, but I don't have salary.
Mhm.
So all the donations that we receive locally and internationally, it goes to the program, it goes to patient care.
Okay.
Kudos to you guys for the work that is being done. At this time, I think it's a perfect opportunity to extend to any of our viewers who may would want to support the organization. How can they do so?
So the phone number for the organization is 612-6111. They can come also by the office, corner Santa Barbara and Ebony, and contact us. And so sometimes people have fears. They are eager to help, they want to do. Just come. We will train you. We will help you to develop your, those skills and concrete that desire to help others.
Even make bandages. Even help to prepare gauze for bandages for when you go and visit the patients.
Simple things like that you can
Yes,
volunteer to do.
Yes, yes.
Let's get some final thoughts from both of you ladies as we wrap up this conversation. You, Ms. Geiger?
Well, to be a volunteer, to me, it's a calling, and it's also a privilege to journey with these persons. And even when they die, you have the satisfaction knowing that you made a difference in their lives. So I
love that.
Yeah, so welcome anybody to come with us.
Well, the same way I ditto what she says, but you don't forget that person. You don't forget that person. And at least me, I feel privileged to have been able to do it, and privileged to work with my partner. We support each other.
Wonderful. Ladies, Chaplain, thank you so much for joining us this morning. This has been a wonderful conversation, and we wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to take another quick break, and when we come back, the conversation switches into financial literacy, and we'll be joined by Dr. Carol Babb, and she'll be talking to us about her third book launch. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Elmer Shua. Ay join jik ahelak sa Ekopal Tree Lodge. Keronik ahelan ay lain sa Ekopal. Kakui bartending kakui an keronik mano lain. Lain ni usara Belize Bank mobile app. Hanak na usara uta ana ATM. Utin card. Araw kay balbas changkiron sa usara ut kolore na notification chira phone na mensah pas. Araw ta ki na kolore tak kala harup chitumin sa usara. Ut araw ta naw nak sa chabilo wang gatumin.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to the National MSME Roadshow 2024. Join us for free workshops in marketing using AI, finance, business planning, and customer service. Connect with financial institutions for access to finance opportunities, meet with key government agencies, and showcase your business at the Roadshow Expo in an effort to get more locals to buy Belizean. We will be in Orange Walk Town, June 13th to the 15th, PG, June 27th to the 29th, Corozal, July 11th to the 13th, Benque, July 25th to the 27th, San Pedro, August 15th to the 17th, Key Cocker, August 23rd to the 24th, Belmopan, August 29th to the 31st, Hopkins, September 13th to the 14th, San Ignacio, September 26th to the 28th, Tangriga, October 10th to the 12th, Placencia, October 18th to the 19th, and Belize City, October 24th to the 26th. Sign up today for the National MSME Roadshow. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Beltrade or call us at 880-3737. Sign up today for the National MSME Roadshow. Let's get your business on the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, This is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome back. This is our second conversation for this morning, and it's all about a book launch, and I will tell you more about that book launch shortly. But first, we have to introduce our guests. We have Dr. Carol Babb, who's no stranger to our Open Your Eyes morning show, and she's the author of this book. And we have Ashley Rodriguez, who's a teacher at St. Martin's de Porres School. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. And when I saw your name on the rundown this morning, it didn't say what book or what kind of book, but I said immediately this has to do something with finance and financial literacy.
You know it, Paul.
Yeah, of course.
We can make a pretty good guess.
Yeah, so I was on the money.
Right, you were
no
on the money.
intended.
You won a prize.
Yeah, great. Perhaps it's a book. Now, let's talk a bit about the book.
Okay, so this is the third book that I am authoring, and it's all about financial literacy, teaching people how to manage and to become financially independent. The name of this third book is Jacito Learns to Budget. Budgeting is an important part of financial literacy. Many people don't budget, and then when you don't budget, you wonder where your money is or where your money has gone. So budgeting is important. It helps you to know where your money is going. It helps you with saving. It helps you to decide what you can or cannot afford. And it also helps you to develop financial stability, financial independence.
Okay.
People who don't budget, after their money is done,
they want to know.
They want to pay me money. They pay must thief my money, and you know all of that. They start to
blame. And not get paid enough.
And not get paid enough. And yes, things are expensive, but they blame everybody except the person who should be blamed themselves.
So what will Jacinta teach us in this book?
Okay, it's Jacito.
Jacito.
So it's my grandson. The story, the third of the series, the Jacito
is Jacito.
Right, but his name is Jace. And his paternal grandmother is Spanish from Peru.
Okay,
and she calls him Jacito, meaning little Jace.
Yeah, okay.
And so Jacito is learning to budget. He wants to have financial independence, and this loving grandmother, me, is teaching him how to budget. So,
what's the first thing you teach him about how to budget?
I told him first you have to have a plan, right? It's a financial plan, and then in the book you will see examples of this budget. This plan has two parts: income, expenses. And so the income, you must list every money that you make, even your side hustle. So Jacito knows what's a side hustle. In the storybook, I told him if you want things that are not needs but are wants, then maybe you need a side hustle. He said, but that sounds like a bad word. It's not a bad word. Side hustle means it's a job that you have in addition to your primary job. So Jacito he was worried because he said, what if I want to give my mom a Tory Birch bag? Because I said to him, well, that is not a need, it's a want. But however, if you pay attention to your needs and you are saving, which is a must, you may have extra money, and if you don't, then get a side hustle if you can afford it. So budgeting helps you to determine what you can or cannot afford. So if you make your budget, Paul, before you get paid, because people think about budget when the money done. It has to be before you get
After
paid.
you don't spend your while spending the budget, the rest, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So make the budget before you spend. So when you go to the stores, if you go to Mirab, you will know, you know what, that is not in my budget. I can't afford it.
Or I only have $50 for entertainment.
Only $50 for an entertainment. So it lets you stay in your league, then stay in your lane about what you can or cannot afford.
Okay, so we have Ashley with us, and he is a teacher. Let's talk a bit about your interaction with the book and financial literacy with your students.
Okay, well, first off, what the country and central bank is trying to do is they're trying this national financial inclusion strategy, where they're trying to get more Belizeans, everybody from every corner of the nation, to have easy access to financial institutions. And one of the ways they could try to build these skills and allow people to be more financially stable is through education as well. And so recently I just did a workshop on financial literacy and how we could start educating our kids. And so Ministry of Education has created a curriculum, well, a part of the Belizean Studies curriculum, a strand that focuses mainly on financial literacy, right? And so to break, so you'd say, the generational curse, where you find that people can't budget, they don't know how to manage their finances, right? We try to develop these skills from a young age, right? And that's through education and us as teachers imparting that knowledge on our kids. Now the storybook, Jacita Learns to Budget, comes in handy, right? Because as teachers, we always need a lot of resources for our lessons. So Jacita comes in and we can use that in our classrooms. The storybook does not only focus on financial literacy, but it's a storybook that is localized, where the kids can relate to it. And that is one of the things we have to do as teachers, relate our topics, our lessons to real life, to see how the kids will use it. They're not just learning it for learning its sake, but they want to see, or they need to know how it will benefit them in the future. Now, Jacita Learns to Budget does not only show them the plan and where their money goes and savings, but it also shows them the difference between a need and a want, right? And it's something that we could instill in our kids from a very, very young age, right?
I imagine you as a teacher observe that in these kids when it's break time and they want a candy or they want a chips, but they need some water instead. Are these examples of things where these kids, as a teacher, you would observe them having to make these decisions?
They would, instead of water, they want Ideal or Milky Way Ideal, right? And then they would come to classroom and say that they're thirsty. You know, putting the money to what they need instead of what they want, you know? And then being able to also put the money towards other things instead of just spending it all, right? I had a kid in my class last year who he had like side hustles, right? Where he would help the handyman at our school, and he'd made a little cash. And he came and he said, "Teacher, well, I didn't spend the money. I put it in my drawer," right? And so in that case, I was so pleased. I felt so good to see that we could really start this from a young age, you know? And so then after this, every generation that comes after, we don't have to have where people are struggling, right? And they can't budget properly, and then every generation that comes after, they can be more financially stable because we have developed the skills from a young age and build that foundation through education.
Dr. Babb, what's the biggest challenge that we have as humans that prevents us from budgeting, though it seems like a no-brainer?
One of the things I always say that when I was younger, when I was a child growing up, I know the only thing I know about money is to be spent. So when they give me money, burn my hand, it seems, and I want to go spend it. But it's because I was not taught to manage my money. I was not taught to save. We can change this generational curse, as Ashley said, but we have to teach children, and we have to be examples and model for them too.
Absolutely.
Because too many times we want them, oh, do this, do that, and we do the opposite. So we have to model as teachers. I listened to Ashley just now, and I'm very proud of that child that has side hustles. It's not a bad word, it's something good. In this day and age, Paul, you must have your side hustle too, I don't know, but we're not getting to that. Right, so, but what we want to tell children, it's risky to leave your money at home. The second JCTA book talks about opening an account at Holy Redeemer Credit Union and all the benefits. It's risky to leave your money at home because it might be stolen. Secondly, when your money is at Holy Redeemer Credit Union, it grows, you get dividend, and there are other benefits for children. They can access the Henry Charles Educational Grant as a member. And so I met Ashley at this training, and like, I think it's called Divine Intervention. He sings the song that I want him to sing without even knowing. And I didn't prepare him at all. We didn't even practice. And when I met him, I'm like, I was almost in tears, and I just went and I hugged him. I said, you need to work with me. Together we can ensure that this next generation of children become financially literate. And I also want to say, I'm a teacher by profession. I was a classroom teacher, principal, general manager, I gone through the whole rank, chief education officer. But we need to ensure that children get this knowledge and this skill at an early age. 0 to 8 is the formative years. Whenever you want to teach children any good thing, because they develop bad things too, but good things. And I'm hoping parents are listening. This is the optimal time to teach them to save. Get a piggy bank for them. Encourage them to work, to save. The first JCTA book focuses on the value of work. JCTA wanted a tablet, and his grandmother said, you're going to work for it. He said, but I don't have a job, but you have family members who can give you chores. Let them work for what they want. If we don't teach children the value of work, they come up to be beggars. They believe that things should be handed out. Entitled. And so this generational curse, financial literacy, is good for the country. The Prime Minister, he applauded my first job, but I want to tell him, Prime Minister, Minister of Education, this must be a must in every school if we want to change the economic landscape. Many people are out there, Paul, who are not poor because they don't earn good money. They are poor because of their poor financial decisions.
And a part of it is also our behavior, spending behavior.
Discipline, we lack the discipline.
Needs to change. A lot of these issues are behavioral, but how child-friendly is the book? I mean, it's speaking to a child, of course. Does that make it even more child-friendly in the classroom?
It's more child-friendly. It's child-friendly because it involves a child. The character is a little boy, a Belizean boy. And then if you would go through the storybook, there is a section where it has a plan, where it has what he's putting his money, every single coin towards, and it's relatable to what kids would want to spend on. You know, they would have a certain amount of money towards snacks and so forth. Right there in the income and the expenses.
I see charts, I see some graphs, that's very understandable. Yeah, so who did the artwork for you?
The artwork was done by my cousin. She's a Belizean, she's a teacher too. So she localized it, as Paul said. It's Belizean and it's relatable. Children can relate to it, you know.
So is this book now accessible for persons to purchase?
The book will be launched on Saturday. The other 2 books are available. Right now, if you go to HRC, you can get a copy of that book at no charge.
Wonderful.
Right.
Is it your hope that this book or this series would become a part of our curriculum?
I have approached the Minister of Education. I've also spoken to the Governor of the Central Bank, and I'm waiting for them to respond to me because I'm asking them to make it become a book available in our schools. In addition to that, in this story, there is also another topic that was touched very briefly. The grandmother asked JCTA, he said, how come you know all these terminologies? Because as a teacher, Ashley will tell you, we don't tell children things, we elicit. We draw it from them so that if you draw it from them, they will remember it longer.
Correct.
And the child said, oh, it's because I read every day. My parents read with me 20 minutes a day, and that is why my vocabulary is growing, and that's why I'm able to understand so many things. So it also talks about the value of reading, which is so important.
Literacy in general.
Correct.
Literacy in general.
It touches on Belizean studies and financial literacy, but it can also be linked back to language arts because it's a story.
Yeah, and the thing is, for me personally, I don't think I heard the word budget until maybe in my teens.
Correct.
When you started making money?
In my adult years, then I heard the word budget. But then it did not take me until in my early 30s for me to actually start to budget and understand the benefits of budgeting. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if I start budget from I was a teenager, I would have had a lot of money saved up, perhaps even in credit union as well. And so I think that's why it's so important for our kids to grasp this concept from early. So that when whether you make $10 or $10,000, you're spending it in the right way.
And I also want to say that it's International Credit Union Day today. I'm not going to delve into it because my colleagues are out there and I don't want to steal their thunder, but I went across the country and I did like 8 formations of police officers, and I was shocked to know that many of them do not know the value of a credit union. So again, so that's one of the things that the central bank is doing too. Financial inclusion, making the citizenry aware of the banks and the credit unions and their values. So.
And we need to start get some adults more engaged in these conversations as well, apart from the kids. That's another conversation for another day, but you're talking about...
I also want to say, too, this is something very important. If employers want to have productive employees in their workplace, they must ensure that they become financially literate. Nobody who is broke will be the most productive person in your workplace.
They're always worried about money.
I love how you said it. Nobody will broke.
That's a productive. Because imagine if you owe courts, you don't know if they are when they are come for the refrigerator. I wonder if BN cut me out of their water. No, can they focus? No. So it's a responsibility for them to help their employees to become financially literate for themselves and for the workplace to ensure that there's productivity.
And I agree with you. That's why I mentioned earlier in the segment that a lot of persons who are not financially literate, their first response to solving their financial problems is to make more money or is to have more money. How can I figure this out? I just need more money and money will solve all my problems. But that's totally incorrect, because as the saying goes, the more money you make, the more problems you have too. But if you learn how to budget it, you might just
learn to manage it.
It becomes a solution. All right, so the book launch is on Saturday morning.
At 8:30
Is the public invited to be a part of it, or?
We have limited space for the book launch, but on that day, we are also having HRCU is having an open day, and Darren, who will join us, join you all shortly, will explain more about that.
Excellent. Well.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been such a wonderful conversation, and we look forward to getting our hands on the book as well. And as you mentioned, Dr. Babb, the first 2 books are already available. You can get them for free when you stop at the Holy Redeemer Credit Union.
Right.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you guys all the best.
Thank you. And we hope to see you at the open day at HRCU.
Indeed. Thanks for the
And so
invite.
you are both invited to the launch.
Thank you.
And the launch begins at 8:30 a.m.
Early in the morning, I forgot tacos or meat pie.
Yeah, we have snacks.
Okay, that works. We'll take another quick break, and when we come back, as Dr. Babb mentioned, the conversation continues into celebrating World Credit Union Day.
Visual strategies, where creativity meets business. Step inside our world of innovative visual solutions. From captivating graphic design to expansive wide format productions, our services are tailored to bring your vision to life. Experience the impact offer high-quality signage and billboards, embroidery, promotional items, and professional paper printing, all designed to elevate your brand's presence. Every project reflects our commitment to creativity, quality, and client satisfaction. At Babb Visual Strategies, we transform ideas into visual realities. Get in touch today.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connections, pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
Take control with My Social Security, your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. To create a My Social Security account, you must be 14 years or older and have a valid email address. Visit the My Social Security self-service portal at ssbportal.org.bz. Click on Create Account. Enter your date of birth and phone number. Next, verify your email address to continue. To verify, simply enter your email address and click the Send Verification button. Enter the verification code sent to your email inbox to proceed. Next, create a password that meets the requirements. Enter the name and select a reason for your account. Then click Create. Your My Social Security account was successfully created. Your information security is our priority. If you have a Social Security number, click Link My SSN to link your Social Security number to your account and activate using the steps in your confirmation email. If you do not have a Social Security number, click Register with SSB. You are now ready to truly experience Social Security at your fingertips.
My name is Hermine Vega. El Patio Grill has been using Belize Bank for over 25 years. We only use Belize Bank at our restaurant. That's why we were able to win this trip to Europe. I had never been to Europe. We found out it was Madrid and we were excited and we went to this football match. The teams reached before the game and everybody was just outside, you know. You can't explain it. The noise just roared like 3 blocks down the street, but when you got in there and you saw 70,000 people in there, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it was happening. I had to pinch myself to make sure it was real, you know, because it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience, I'd say. My lucky plus one was my son. He's 18 years old, so he was really excited and he enjoyed it as well. He said this is his best trip ever, so it's a priceless experience that we got. Belize Bank has always been there for me. Whatever transactions or whatever I need to do, they're always there for me. I would recommend everybody to use Belize Bank. It's the oldest bank in our country and they continue to do their best.
Welcome back. We are jumping into our third conversation this morning, and still on the note of financial literacy, But this time we are joined by representatives of the Belize Credit Union League. They are joining us to talk to us about International Credit Union Day. Apparently this is the 76th year of International Credit Union Day, and the theme for this year is One World Through Cooperative Finance. We are joined this morning by Mark Menzies, and he is the Human Resources Manager and President of the Belize Credit Union League. Also joining us is Darren Leal, and he is the Deputy Chief Finance Officer representing the Holy Redeemer Credit Union. And also joining us, only virtually, is Anir Ramos, and she is a Marketing Officer representing the La Immaculada Credit Union, or HE. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and welcome.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
I imagine it's going to be a lot of celebration, and a lot of money will be given away. You get money, so we can save it, of course.
For sure.
Definitely, yes.
What makes you think that?
Because it's credit union, you know. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, this is a big deal, 76 years of credit union. And of course, we have you gentlemen here, both in person and virtually, joining us to talk to us about what we will be celebrating.
So today we celebrate International Credit Union Day. I believe it started in 1948.
Wow.
Yes. And this day was set aside to celebrate and to bring awareness to the credit union movement. Yeah. Worldwide, we have almost 83,000 credit unions in 98 countries.
Wow.
Yes. In the Caribbean, we have 217 credit unions, which includes 8 from Belize. So in Belize, we have 8 credit unions from north to south, east to west, and in Belmopan. Wow. This day was created so that we can bring awareness to the movement and to remember all the good things that credit unions have done to bring people closer, and the movement was built on people helping people. So that's what we continue to do now. And for this day, all the credit unions countrywide will be celebrating.
A lot of people still might question the difference between a credit union and a regular bank. Why do I save at a credit union versus keeping my money in the bank?
Okay, so it's a big difference. When you are a member owner of a credit union, you own part of the credit union. When you save at a bank, you're just a customer.
Right.
So that's the big difference.
I think also to add to that is a lot of the times when we look at credit unions compared to a bank, one of the key difference for us is you get significantly reduced service charges. And I think this also ties into financial literacy. The more you become financially literate, you're able to see that credit union difference. So also when it comes to credit unions, because you are owners of the credit unions, the profits that credit unions get, it goes back to the members in the form of dividends. While at a bank, you know, it's those stakeholders, the owners, who actually decides, you know, what they do with the profit. So if they decide this year, you know what, we want to keep all,
we're going on vacation, boys.
Yeah, we're taking the yacht. Right? While at a credit union, you also have a vote. So each year, all the credit unions, we have our AGMs. At that AGM, you get a chance to voice, you know, if there's any changes, you get to be a part of the decision making. You get to choose who you want as your board of directors. So there's really that significant difference. Another key thing though that I like to point out is that as a member of a credit union, I always hear people say, you know, when you go to the credit union, it's like you're going home. You feel that family, that love. Well, you know, sometimes they would say when you go to the bank, it's like you're just going there to do normal business, right? So there is that credit union difference. And one of the things that I want to point out, this is very significant when it comes to loans. This is one of the key products. And credit unions are oftentimes seen to put emphasis on savings. You know, that's where you go and put your savings. But we want to change that narrative where, yes, we're big on savings, but we also have all the other products and services. So we're really that one-stop shop as well. So you can come, you can get your, you know, we provide consumer loans, commercial loans, online banking, and that's one of the key things because we're now in the national payment system. through the Belize Credit Union League. They connected credit unions, so now you can do your online transfers inter-credit unions, from credit union to credit union to a bank, and vice versa. So you can do your online loan application, so you no longer have to come into the credit union for all your services. You can go on your mobile phone or on your laptop, and you can do your online transactions as well.
Talk a bit about how HRCU specifically has established itself in the Belizean society as a key pillar in our financial landscape in terms of benefiting the members and making their lives better. How have we done that?
Okay, so HRCU opened its doors in 1944, and it's a good story. The 3 women came together, each with 25 cents, and and that's how the credit union started, with 75 cents.
Wow.
And then at the helm, Miss Jane Usher, who was the matriarch, she was the one who carried this credit union up until recently. Right. And she had the values, and she had a lot of support from the Jesuits, and so that is how HRCU became what it is today.
And her legacy is still going on. I think to also add to that, one of the key things that we also contribute to our economy and to our country every year, we give back close to 500, I like to say $500,000 every year in educational grants. Very significant. I'm sure you guys have seen the lines every year. You know, this year we actually had the most applicants to apply, and we gave back, like I said, close to $500,000 in educational grants. Another key thing, we have our HRCU housing project in Sand Hill, which I like to promote because I'm the chairman of Sand Hill. So, you know, the best village in Belize. Let me come off of that. But also, I would like to highlight that pretty soon HRCU is opening up our branch in Belmopan, the capital city. Yes. So we're expanding. The credit unions in Belize are growing.
Who would have thought that 75 cents would lead to $500,000 in educational grants, housing projects, expansions across the country? 75 cents. Right. That's incredible. But before we go any farther with you two, we do have somebody via Zoom that we want
to bring into the conversation. Enir Ramos, as we mentioned, he is the marketing officer for La Immaculada Credit Union. And one of the things that I wanted to ask was the principles that guide these particular credit unions in the country. Mr. Menzies, you mentioned that there are 8 different credit unions in the country of Belize, La Immaculada being one of them, of course, Holy Redeemer Credit Union being one of them. But Mr. Ramos, I want to ask about what La Immaculada represents in your region of the country.
Good morning, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you for having us today. As mentioned, my name is Enir Ramos. I am the marketing officer for La Immaculada Credit Union. And as always, we are also very active and involved with our members, celebrating International Credit Union Week. Actually, for us, it's an entire month now, because a week is not enough for us. We have a month full of activities, starting off with a raffle for the membership, where we have 6 different categories. They vary, depending on if you do a new loan with us, you can win a Spark Technophone. If you open an account with us for the month of October, you can win a circular star. And there's different categories that we cater to the membership to encourage them. And there's a category for the deposit bin, where we try to encourage them to beat the line. And any payments that you do through the deposit bin, you can win a prize. And throughout the month, we have activities. We do outreach to different primary schools, where we do a bit of financial literacy to them and explain to them what are the benefits and so forth. And the entire month is full of activities. Actually, tomorrow we're having a business expo here at our parking lot, where membership really reaches out to us. The Sunday, the 20th of October, we have a mass, and the week continues with us having activities, outreach to other schools. So that's one big way how we celebrate International Credit Union Week.
Well, he jumped straight into the celebrations, which I imagine is fitting for his role. But I guess we can go straight to that then. Of course, we are recognizing the day, the International Day today, but you guys have some activities that will be taking place throughout the country. What can we expect here in Belize District?
Okay, so for HRCU, we will be celebrating this coming Saturday. We'll be having an open day for from 9 until 2, and we'll have, it's going to be a normal working day, and members can come in, potential members to join, to update your account. We are also using this month to update account, because as per regulators, we have to update all accounts. So we're using this entire month to let our members know that they must come in and update their account, and then we will have prizes and surprises. Saturday, the open day will be big. We'll have different booths for all our departments, and they can explain to you how to get a loan, how to open an account, what you need, you know, all that information.
What do you need to open an account?
Okay, it's pretty basic. You need your social security card or your passport, along with a recent utility bill. And it's a minimum of $26.
$26.
And you get a chance to be a member owner of any credit union.
Yes.
Right? Well, actually, that's for HRCU, and I would suppose that the other credit unions is pretty much the same thing. Maybe just the amount would be a difference, right?
Yeah. Okay, so let's get inner into the conversation one more time to just tell us a bit about what it takes to open an account at La Immaculada, and what specific day you'll be having the celebration. HRCU said Saturday. You said throughout the month, I believe, but is there anything for today, tomorrow, and into the weekend?
Yeah, basically the requirements to open the account applies the same. We are asked for a social security, valid social security or a passport, and we need your proof of address. And a small deposit is made. Now we charge $30 for adults and $20 for minors.
Nice.
And one more thing that the minors would need to bring, which is their birth paper.
Okay. So this Credit Union Day celebration and promotions, is it still ongoing over there?
Yes, we celebrate it for the entire month of October. We know that the day itself is celebrated today and for this week, which we also have activities now. Yesterday we were actually out giving pantry to the elderly who are shut-ins, and we continue with the activities today. Now we actually prepared 50 different packages for them, and those activities continue for today.
And for the rest of the month?
And the rest of the month, yeah. The staff is really involved. Everything is done in-house, and they really get a feel of giving back to the community, now and our membership.
Whole month celebration.
I'm telling you.
Beat out HRCU, man. Just kidding.
I think one point I also wanted to highlight, which I believe is very significant, especially being that we have the man himself here, in Belize, so we're a part of the league.
Yeah.
And the reason why it says the theme this year, it's One World through cooperative financing, is the connection that we have globally. And that connection is really through, there is actually the CCCU, which is the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions, which Belize is a part of that. We have Mr. Menzies, he's the president of the league, and he sits on that board in the Caribbean. That board in the Caribbean is also an affiliate of the World Council of Credit Unions. So it's a global network. Caribbean countries, credit unions that are faced with different challenges, we always, via virtual call, through these conferences, we connect, we see how we can help each other, and this is done globally. So it's...
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that whereas you see, you would develop the notion that financial institutions are oftentimes more competitive and competition than collaborators. Right. In this case, we are seeing collaboration, which is quite a unique setup for credit unions, I must say.
Yes.
And I can't leave without saying that, if you don't have an HRCU account or a credit union account, please take advantage of this benefit. We have excellent services at a credit union. So rather than just making a decision to say, you know what, I want to open my account here or there. Get yourself acquainted with what are the benefits. And when you do that, you will see the credit union difference. You'll be able to get a strong foundation if you haven't opened an account as yet. So it's also a part of the financial inclusion strategy from the central bank and the financial institutions. So if you're unbanked, yeah, we encourage you to come in. We have credit unions across this country that you can go open an account and yeah, receive some of the excellent benefits that we have. I can tell you when it comes to our loans are insured up to $125,000 for free. So if you get a mortgage loan for $100,000, and let's just say, I mean, nobody wants to die, you pass away, that loan dies with you as well. So your beneficiary could be your wife, could be your kids, they don't have to endure that debt, right? So, and it's up to $125,000 at HRCU at no cost.
Wow.
I can go on and on. Excellent benefits.
And of course, that is representative of your role as well. But gentlemen, we are out of time. Nonetheless, though, we want to say thank you guys so much for joining us in person and virtually. We can't wait to celebrate with you guys over the course of the month and, of course, on Saturday as well.
Please come over to HRC on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Okay. And happy International Credit Union Day to all our credit unions.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And member owners.
We're going to take our final break now, and when we come back, we'll be introducing you guys to Miss Earth Belize 2024.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added on for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls, plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix add-on for only $28.13 more. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
My name is Hermine Vega. El Patio Grill has been using Belize Bank for over 25 years. We only use Belize Bank at our restaurant. That's why we were able to win this trip to Europe. I had never been to Europe. We found out it was Madrid and we were excited and we went to this football match. The teams reached before the game and everybody was just outside, you know. You can't explain, the noise just roared like 3 blocks down the street, but when you got in there and you saw 70,000 people in there, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it was happening. I had to pinch myself to make sure it was real, you know, because it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience, I'd say. My lucky plus one was my son. He's 18 years old, so he was really excited and he enjoyed it as well. He said this is his best trip ever, so it's a priceless experience that we got. Belize Bank has always been there for me. Whatever transactions or whatever I need to do, they're always there for me. I would recommend everybody to use Belize Bank. It's the oldest bank in our country and they continue to do their best.
Remember, not all light bulbs are created equal. Our lighting department offers a wide assortment of light fixtures and accessories to suit your style. So stop in today and get the right illumination for your homecation. And don't forget your B-Box when you make a purchase. Benny's, quality and savings.
welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We are having our final conversation this morning, and we are joined by royalty. We have here with us Miss Earth Belize 2024, and we have even our cameramans doing the... yes. Joining us this morning is Morgan Miles, and she will be representing Belize on the Miss Earth pageant in the Philippines. She is set to leave actually today, you said? Or
tomorrow.
Tomorrow for a pageant in November.
9th. Yes,
November 9th. Morgan, it's so nice to meet you, and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the show today, and it's so nice meeting you all as well.
Yes. Now, I have to start off by saying one of the first things we kind of questioned was where you're from. We asked where you're from, and you said that you are from
Belize City.
But guys, does she not give like Placencia vibe? Paul said Las Flores Belmopan, to be specific. But you are from Belize City.
I am, yes. I'm from the diverse city of Belize City, as I like to say.
I love that.
There has been a bunch of people thinking that I'm from Placencia, from San Pedro. However, I do believe it's because of my advocacy. I stand for conservation and sustainability. So I am always on the water. I'm always on farmland, doing different things, posting it on social media. So I think that is definitely why people think I'm not from the city.
Yeah, well, let's talk about your interest in the Miss Earth organization. I know that this is one of the big, I'd say 5. Is it like 5 big pageantry or pageant titles, right?
Yes.
Miss Earth is one of them. Why were you interested in this pageant?
At a very young age, I knew that I always wanted to do a pageant in Belize. However, I wasn't sure which one it was. And as I got older and my career path, of course, being a sustainable farmer, I felt as though Miss Earth being, as what they say, beauties for a cause and standing for the environment was something that was fitting and something that was definitely more me. It felt natural. So Miss Earth was my route and my choice.
What has the preparation process been like? You travel tomorrow, which means that you've put in a lot of time leading up to today, I would imagine.
Yes, so the preparation has been very intense. It has been a lot of training, not only with a speech coach, but with somebody that was helping me perfect my walk. There has been a lot of time put into the gym, a lot of mental preparation, just getting myself ready for anything and everything out there on the international stage.
What has been the biggest challenge for you so far?
I think the biggest challenge for me has just been accepting that I won't be perfect at everything. I try and perfect a lot of what I do. And it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be different or not do everything the same as other people would. So I think that has been kind of the biggest thing for me.
Is this your first pageant?
It is.
Wow.
I was literally thinking the same exact thing just now.
To throw yourself into such a huge...
The big leagues.
The big leagues, right? From the start. I mean, for you, how did you get over the fact that this is actually the big leagues, and now what's going through your mind thinking, all right, I travel tomorrow, so this is actually it, I can't back out now?
So I think the best piece of advice I got was take every conversation that you have as a regular conversation that you're sharing with a family or a friend.
It's true.
So I have kind of just been going through this. Yes, it is the big leagues and go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's just something that is definitely me, that matches my personality. If I'm going to do something, I want to do something big. I want to do it right. And I want to feel comfortable when I do it.
So you explained your decision in choosing the Miss Earth pageant. Aside from the other one, you know, you could have gone with Miss World and even Miss Universe that we are set to watch in Mexico very soon. What are the elements of this particular pageant that we will be watching you do? Are there costume competitions, the very same elements like ball gown, interviews?
Right. So there are a few interviews that you all will be able to tune in and watch. There are different gown segments, swimsuit, as you know. There is the national costume, and my favorite segment, I think, so far will be the recycled costume segment. So I have been working alongside a local designer that you will get to see her creation come to life, and she has used, you wouldn't even understand the things that she blew my mind when she told me what all she was using and putting into the costume. So for her creations to come alive and for me to get the opportunity to wear it on stage and kind of promote her brand is.
Who's the designer?
She is a designer from San Pedro.
Okay.
Her company is Babb Belize.
Okay.
And so follow her on Instagram. Look out for all of her postings. Her creations are beautiful.
Yeah. What will the next few weeks look like for you leading up to November 9th?
So as far as I know, the next few weeks over there at the Philippines, we will be doing a lot of environmental activities.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's one day that we're going out, and I believe that we're planting different trees. I think I want to say it's in a park. And just getting to know the different girls and completely immersing myself into the culture of the Philippines.
What has the support been like from your family and friends? As we mentioned, we keep saying that this is the big leagues. It requires a lot more preparation than the other pageants that we know and love as well. But what has the support been like for you?
It has been great. It's been overwhelming, but in the most positive way I can say. My family has been my drive behind all of this. They are not only my directors this year, they have just been the best team helping me get everything prepared. My friends have been sharing my different posts on social medias. And please, if you all tune in today to the Miss Earth Belize official page on Instagram, we have voting open for free today.
Okay.
So all of the votes that I can get would be great. The support would be great from my local Belizean people.
Yeah.
So look out for those updates.
So the voting that you speak of, these international pageants also have an opportunity for like a popular vote to be placed or shortlisted. Yes. So that is exactly what we would be voting for in this instance.
So when you're voting for free voting today, you're voting for best appearance today.
Okay.
So it's what the people, what they think is who's a favorite for them, their top picks.
Okay. How many countries are we talking about competing?
I believe it's 79.
79.
Yes.
What's your overall goal?
My overall goal is to definitely just put myself out there and grow more as a person. I want to experience new cultures and meet different people from all around the globe and just have a positive takeaway, and I think that is definitely something that I'm looking forward to.
So you mentioned that aside from pageant heels and this recent endeavor, you are a sustainable farmer.
Yes.
I believe that our viewers would be interested to know the type of work that you do when you're not focusing on getting ready for this pageant.
Right, so I am a sustainable farmer. I own the business Fat Farmer. I produce locally grown packaged whole chickens that I supply to the different restaurants and households and hotels around Belize.
Who would have thought?
Yes.
Where's your operation?
It is actually in Sand Hill.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
So I got to meet the chairman of Sand Hill a little while ago, and it was a great conversation.
So you actually catch these chickens yourself?
I do, but I have the help of my lovely team up at the farm. That
you do not have the look. I certainly
Chasing
wouldn't
and
either.
chicken. Yeah.
So much respect.
Yeah.
So just really quickly, what's on the screen is the QR code for persons who would be able to vote for free today.
Yes. But free voting is open for 24 hours.
Okay, wonderful. Yes. And aside from today, you would have to pay a small fee to purchase voting as well. Of course, there are different types of bundles that you can pay for, I imagine.
Yes.
I mean, if you really want to support our Belizean queen, you would pay for that vote. And ultimately, winning this pageant or even placing in this pageant, what does it mean?
For me, if I can place or hopefully win this pageant, I think for me, it would just mean that I get to share my advocacy even more with the people of Belize. I get to stand up for what is important to me, what I feel that the country of Belize needs to push more. Conservation and sustainability is two of the biggest things that should be focused on in Belize, and the more eyes and the more knowledge people have about these certain topics can only benefit the country.
Wonderful.
Yeah. What's the one thing you would want for the other countries that will be represented in the Philippines to know or learn about Belize?
That's a great question. I think one of the things that I would really want the girls to take away is that Belize is a small country, but we are developing and there is so much room for growth and expansion. Sustainable farming is starting to become big in Belize, and so is conservation. And so if other countries can kind of look at Belize as an example for the good that Belize is doing, I think that would be great.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Yeah, excellently put.
10 points.
Best way to wrap up the show as well. Thank you so much, Queen Morgan, for joining us this
Thank
morning.
you.
We wish you all the best on your travels
Thank
and
you.
your endeavor to Philippines. And we can't wait to follow your journey and, of course, talk about it with you when you return.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
All right. And that does it for the show this morning. We want to say a huge thank you to all of our guests who joined us both in person and virtually, but especially you guys for tuning in with us. It is October 17th. And if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. And if you'd like to give a birthday shout out, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com.
And you can also catch us on Facebook every single day, live at Open Your Eyes BZ.
As well as Instagram for behind the scenes contents at OYE Belize. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes.
And start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
Have a wonderful Thursday.
Was brought to you by Smart, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.